Okay, so let's jump in. And these are the contents that we'll be studying today. They'll be going through. Uh, who wants to, you can say, or who wants to participate in telling me why the first three, uh, you can say, steps or the principles we will skip? And usually, these three steps or principles get skipped in auditor courses or in the internal audit courses. Anybody has any idea why these three um, phases are being skipped, which is the scope, normative references, and terms and definition? You can answer me in the chat. No. Anybody would else like to answer? Actually, Nader is very close in answering, but the answer would be little bit different. Okay, I guess, see, these three one in every standard: scope, normative references, and terms and definitions cannot be, or they are not part of the audit. Keep this in mind always, that the audit will not be healed or be done on these three parts, or three uh, steps, or three principles, or as you can name it, because they usually are not auditable. So we don't really study them, because if you are going to an industry for an audit, you will directly start from here, which is the context of the organization. These are the starting or the initial point where the audit will take place. Or these three will not be audited, or in every standard. If there is a scope, there is normative references, there is in terms and condition, they don't play a part in auditing. Keep this in mind always. Okay. So uh, on the fourth one is the context of the organization. We will discuss these two today. We will go through the context of organization and the leadership. The rest is planning, support, operations, performance evaluation, improvement, Annex A and Annex B. Okay, so for those who have already have gone through the standard, which is on the 2008, these are the little bit differences that I could provide the information about. Uh, Unless of the skipping of the three clauses, we are moving forward with the fourth one. So as you can see, the organizational context is changed in the 2015. The quality management system is different. The management responsibility is changed from the leadership. Resource management is from the planning, the support, the operations, the performance evaluation, and clause 10 is the improvement. As you can see, the addition of two more clauses, which is the performance evaluation improvement and change of the rest of the clauses as well. Okay, let's move with the organizational context. So in 4.1, in the subclause, we will discuss how the organization shall determine the external and internal issues that are relevant to its purpose and its strategic directions. Okay, you can go through the slide, then I'll start explaining. Ajit, you have to register yourself, and then you can get the certificate. I guess everyone has the uh, registration done. So if you haven't done the registration, so you can go. The session is free of cost. You can join the session. There is no issue in that. But for the certificate, we have to pay the accreditation body. So that's why we cannot grant it for free. There is a fee for getting it accredited from the accreditation body. So that's why. Okay. Any questions in this? Okay, see, the clause 4.1 focuses on determining the context of the organization. What this means that you have, we can rephrase it that this involves identifying the internal and external factors that could impact the organization purpose, like, or you can say the strategic direction. So, you, in this one you have to understand what is the goal of the organization, how they are uh, going through this. Yeah, like for if we I say the internal issues, see, you will consider within the organization, like its structure, its culture, and its resources and processes. If we talk about a little bit about the external issues, the factors that are outside of the organization that can affect its performance, like legal, technological, cultural, economical, social influences. But the goal of this current clause is to analyze these factors to determine their relevance to the organization quality management system. And also, it helps to understand in establishing the scope of the QMS and setting the quality objectives which are aligned with the organization strategic directions. So, uh, in understandable language, when you will start the audit of something, or let's skip the audit, let's keep the audit aside. Let's see that whenever you're going to cook something, whenever you're going to eat something, you usually do a planning little bit, right? That I have to eat this ingredient first, and I have to cook it for 20 minutes, and so on, so on, so on. You are understanding how to make something. You are going through the recipe to cook something. So this is the same, that if you are understanding the organization, that how you will implement the quality management system upon this organization. So you're understanding what are the internal issues, what are the external factors, and what are the challenges this organization is facing, that I also have to face during the implementation of the quality management system. Okay. Okay. So 4.2 is the understanding the needs and expectations of the interested parties. You have a minute to go through this slide, then we'll start discussing. So, understanding the needs of the interested parties, what is it? What could be the context of this? What is the type that the interested parties are? So, see, you have to identify the interested parties, where you will determine the individuals or groups like customer, suppliers, and regulators that can affect or can be affected by your organization. Next one, it would be the analyzing the needs and expectations, where you will access what these parties expect from your product or services and the quality management system. And if we move forward a little bit, and the incorporation into the QMS, you will integrate these identify needs and expectations in your QMS to ensure that it aligns with the broader interest of the stakeholders. And by understanding and addressing a little bit about the requirements of the interested parties, an organization can enhance the customer satisfaction. On the other hand, you're also meeting the regulatory obligations and you're improving the overall performance. So that's the you can say part of this subclause 4.2. And interested parties may include the authorities, but not the local authorities. There, when I'm saying about the regulatory authorities, that is a different part. You cannot include all of the authorities in this. But yeah, the regulatory authorities is there also. 4.3 is the determination or determining the scope of the quality management system. Okay, so 4.3 deals with determine the scope of the QMS. What does it mean? See, what is a scope? Let's define the scope first of all. Uh, the scope should clearly define the boundaries and applicability of your quality management system, like what processes and activities are included. So you will make a detailed list about the processes and activities that are included. Then you will consider the requirements. You will ensure that the scope aligns with the organization's purpose, context, and the needs of the expectation of the interested parties. Exclusions, like see if there are certain QMS requirements that aren't applicable, or I could say that it is not justifiable. You can go for the exclusions that can be made, but they must not affect the organization's ability to meet the customer and regulatory requirements. And then you will document the scope. You will clearly document the scope, making it accessible to the relevant parties, because the scope provides the framework for the QMS. If you're outlining the, let's just say, the extent and the boundaries of its application within the organization, you are doing great, because you have to check all of these, right? You have to check the external internal issues that I explained you. We have gone through this in 4.1. If you are missing one subclause, keep in mind you will get stuck in the further clauses. As you can see, this one, this 4.3 subclause is based upon these 3 points, 1, 2, and 3. And these 2 points, A and B, is referring to what? The previous clauses, subclauses that we went through, 4.1 and 4.2. So if you have understood these two clauses, it will be easy for you to determine the scope of the QMS. Okay, so let's move forward. The 4.4 clause is about the quality management system and its process. So you have a minute to read all of this, yeah, and then we will start discussing. Okay, so see the clause 4.4 and its subclause 4.4.1 focuses on establishing and maintaining a quality management system and processes. When I talk about the establishment about the QMS, the organization is required to create and implement and maintain and what? And continually improve our quality management system in line with the ISO 9001 2015 that we are going through. So determining the process, you have to identify the processes that are needed for the quality management system and their application across the organization. What are the inputs? What are the outputs? You have to specify the inputs required, like what is needed to be input, and the outputs are the results that are expected from this process. For example, just to for those who are getting confused in the outputs and outputs. Uh, Whenever you go to any type of restaurant, or let's just make it more simple. You are going to a shop to purchase something. Nevertheless, let's not talk about any product or a specific thing. Let's just say you're going to buy a water bottle. So the money you are giving to the shopkeeper is the input. Now, what is the output you will expect? The output is that you can walk out of that shop with the with holding the water bottle. That is the expectations, and that would be labeled as output. Same as that. This is was the very simple example just to make you understand. Whenever you are specifying the input requirements, what is according to the QMS, you are expecting the outputs. Outputs are the equivalent to the results. But what are the results of the output? The processes that you have implemented in the inputs. Okay. The sequence in the interaction is to determine the sequence interaction of what? Of the processes within the organization. You have will define and apply the criteria and methods for say like including monitoring, measurement, performance indicators, and to ensure that the effective operation and control of these processes is done very correctly. You will identify the resources needed for these processes and you will ensure their availability. And after that, you will clearly assign the responsibilities and authorities to each of these processes. You will address the risk and opportunities as determined in accordance with the requirement of the clause 6.1. We will study what is it. We'll go through the clause 6.1 for now. But until then, let's stick to the clause number 4.4.1. Okay. Yeah, I'm recording and it will be uploaded on the um, YouTube channel. Okay, so subclause 4.2 is to extend the necessary and organization shall maintain the information to support the operation of the process and retain the document information to have the confidence in processes that are being carried out as planned. Okay. Okay, so the next clause is clause 5, which is the leadership, where we'll study about the leadership and commitment, and the subclause, which is the general one. Okay, you can go through this and then we will start understanding it. So subclause number 5.1.1 focuses on the leadership and commitment of the top management. Okay. When I am referring to the top management of the QMS, it's the one they makes the decision. Like they take the accountability. The top management is accountable for the effectiveness of the quality management system, underscoring their responsibilities for its success. Establishing the quality in policy and objectives is must be they must ensure the top management must ensure that the quality policy and objectives are established, aligned with the organizational context and its strategic directions. And the top management should also integrate the quality management system requirements into the organization business processes, and should they ensure a seamless connection between the quality and overall operation. On the other hand, I would also suggest, and uh, the clause number 5.1.1, the general clause encourages the use of the process approach and the risk-based thinking to enhance the effectiveness of the quality management system. You have to ensure that the resources availability are there. They're ensuring that the necessary resources for the QMS are available, because supporting its implementation and maintenance is very necessary in order to implement it. Okay. And the communication is very important, because the communication is the result of the good communication is the result of the effective quality management and adherence to the quality management system requirements throughout the organization. So you will ensure that the quality management system achieve its intended results in terms of the product or service quality or customer satisfaction. You will engage and support the personnel. You will direct them, you will engage them, you will support them to contribute to the quality management system. You will promote the improvement. You will actively promote the continuous improvement within the organization, and you will assist any relevant management roles in demonstrating the leadership with their areas of responsibility. So, in a nutshell, if I just go to the uh, review of this clause. This clause underscores the critical role, a very important role of the top management in establishing a quality focused culture and driving the success of the QMS. So the leadership commitment is the fundamental, the effectiveness and continual improvement of the quality management system. Okay, so 5.1.2 clause is about the customer focus. And while we move further, the 5.2 and followed by the 5.2.1 is the establishment of the quality policy and the general policy. So you have a minute to go through this slide, then we'll start understanding it and we'll open the discussion. I will share the notes in the group so you can prepare yourself for the exams. And there will be only single exam, but it will take a lot of time to go through the book. So I am actually explaining the book right now. This is the point, the important point that I made the PPT from. So, but the book has more detailed answers, which I am actually explaining right now. So I will send the book over the group, so you can make your preparations for the exam through that book. Okay. Clause number 5, 1.2 is the customer focus. It is still on the top management. The role of the top management is still not over. If you are considering that the role of the top management is over, that's wrong. See, the top management should demonstrate the leadership in customer focus, like for by meeting the requirements, you will ensure that the customer or the regulatory requirements are identified, understood, and consistently met. You will and then identify the addresses that are possessing the risk and the opportunities that could impact the product or service conformity and the availability to enhance the customer satisfaction, because maintaining a continuous focus and enhancing the customer satisfaction is under the responsibility of the top management system. Okay. And if we move through the next clause, establishing the quality policy, this is also included in the top management, because for this part, the top management is also responsible for creating and implementing and maintaining the quality policy. Like, see, the alignment with the purpose and context is very appropriate to the organization purpose and context. It should support its strategic directions. The framework for the objectives is to provide a framework for setting the quality objectives. Then the commitment to the requirements include the commitment to satisfy the applicable requirements encompassing both regulatory and customer needs. And the commitment to improvement is also there. You will include a commitment to the continual improvement for the quality of the management system. So in the nutshell, or in the small understanding of this, all of these three clauses and sub clauses, these clauses emphasizes the importance mainly about the top management. You can find top management in every clause. It is present because their commitment to understanding and meeting the customer requirements is very important. Because addressing the associated risk and opportunities and establishing a quality policy that aligns with the organization purpose and encourages continued improvement is very necessary. And all of this, the success of this is under the responsibility of the top management. Okay. Communicating the quality policy about be like, we will discuss all of this. Until then, you can go through this slide. Please read everything because reading helps you to understand. That's what I give you the time for. The other trainers doesn't give the time to read. They keep on speaking, but that's not my way of delivering the session and delivering the training. So in order to understand, you have to read first, and I'm giving you time for that. I am waiting. So read, understand, then I will start explaining so you can understand it fully. And if you have any questions, please write them down. I will give you a time at the end of this today's session to ask the questions. Okay, so we are discussing about the quality policy, and it should include a documented information, like it will be available and maintained as documented information within the organization. The communication understanding should be there. It have to be effectively communicated, understood, and applied by all the members of the organization. The accessibility of interested parties should be available to the relevant interested parties as appropriate, demonstrating the transparency in the organization quality commitments. 5.3 clause is about the organizational roles, responsibilities, and authorities. So the top management is still here, and the another responsibility of the top management is ensuring the roles, responsibilities, and authorities that are well defined within the organization. They should assign the responsibilities and authorities for how much. Let's discuss this. It will take a little bit time. So first, they should assign the responsibility and authority for the uh, conforming to the ISO standard. You will ensure that the quality management system conforms to the requirement of the ISO 991 2015 standard. Second, the process output, in which you will ensure that the process are delivered with the intended outputs effectively. Reporting the performance is also should be there, where you will report the performance of the quality management system opportunities for improvement, and particularly to the top management. You will promote the customer focus. You will ensure that the promotion of the customer focus is throughout the organization, and you will maintain the quality management system integrity during the changes. You will ensure that the integrity of the quality management system is maintained when changes is in the system are planned or implemented, or some new type of systems are introduced in the management system of the quality. So that also should be covered. Okay, maintaining the quality management system and the integrity is to ensure that the quality management system is maintained and changes to a system are planned. So Uh, the current clause emphasizes the importance of the effective communication of the quality policy, making it accessible to the relevant parties and ensuring their assignment of the responsibilities and authorities to maintaining a well-functioning quality management system. Okay. Okay, I guess we come to an end to our today's session where we discussed the clause 4 to clause 5. We understood the leadership and the role of the top management along with their responsibilities. Okay, so tomorrow we'll discuss clause 6 to 8 and